Hello, once again, it's time for a brand new episode of Brick Fury, one of the best Heroclixy type, unboxing type, superhero punchy type shows out there. I'm your host, as always, Brad Harmer Barnes, and I'm joined by my constant compatriot, Ian Harmer.
Hi.
And a special guest, new writer for E14, come over for the Suppressing Fire crew, represent. It's Dave Mustall. Hey! Dave, first time on Brick Fury.
Yes.
You long time Heroclix player?
Since the start.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I'm gonna brag.
Came over on the Ark.
Yeah. Got the original. I think it's got the DC box when it first came out. The original box set.
Okay.
So obviously most of my HeroClix are completely out of date. Like by
You should bring them for a go.
Yeah. We'll put them up against Foom, see how that goes.
yeah. Not going to happen.
Yeah, so long-term play then.
Yeah.
Do you think the game's improved over time?
Yeah, much better.
Yeah, I agree. The new, I remember the other versions of flight rules were so ridiculously cumbersome. You go soaring or hovering flight and
swooping around with your little.
Yeah. I'm glad that's gone. I'm really glad that's gone. I think the rules. I think the most recent rule update.
I think it's the best thing ever.
I think it's the best version. Yeah. Are you principally a Marvel player, principally a DC player, or a bit of both?
I've actually got some of it because I've got the indie set as well.
Oh wow!
Came out, so Just Dread, Hellboy, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Also have Heroclix from way back when.
Yeah. Someone's got a Heroclix starter set. We should probably play with that sometime.
We have, we should do that. Yeah, that could be worth a recording.
Anyone who now got the Heroclix Cthulhu?
No. Oh yes.
I had the special map and the tokens as well.
I've got the Heroclix AVP. We
really
really should do something with it, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
You know, Queen.
I have
two.
I have a Heroclix.
Two queens.
Fair enough. I've got Freddy versus Jason.
Ah, brilliant.
What? Freddy versus
Okay, look forward
Hellion
to.
Queen.
All I'm saying is, look forward to what we're going to be up to come October, because we're just going to go
that would be
Halloween
so
Brick
awesome.
Fury.
Yeah.
We'll get Heroclix out for Halloween Brick Fury. It'll be fun.
Nice.
So a bit of everything there.
Yeah.
So Blake Hunt, my brother, is from the episode. He's on the show. He's on Crazy Trading and stuff as well. He off eBay managed to get all of the 2000 AD ones in like a bundle for a fairly decent price. And
Nemesis and all that.
I was like, he's got a Nemesis and Warlock, and he's got all the judges. I said, I'm really quite jealous of that. And my brother, he likes some 2000 AD, but there's some gaps in his knowledge which I felt he did not appreciate. None summed up more when he came up to you and said, I don't know who this guy is in the bundle. And I said, that's Wolf Sternhammer. He's 50% of Strontium Dogs. How would you not know that?
One of the most classic deaths in 2000 AD ever. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler from longer than most of our audiences alive. Let's go with that. So a bit of everything.
Well, I've been collecting 2000 AD for forever, so I'm really principally a 2000 AD comics fan.
Yeah.
But I have more recently started buying lots of Marvel and DC books. So,
okay.
And I've always loved.
We are incredibly lucky in this country to have a publication like 2000 AD.
Yeah.
It's one of the last bastions of punk rock, and you can pick it up from W. Smith and Tesco, and I think that's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the problem you do have with 2000 AD is a lot of the comic shops won't stock it.
Yeah.
Because of the comic size, their shelves are built to house the American size comics.
Yeah.
Because 2000 AD is that big.
A4 size.
Yeah, they won't stock it. And apparently they actually have conversations with Rebellion, the publisher, quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And they get nowhere. All they get is...
because it's Rebellion.
Yeah. That's probably because they get more money from Tesco and W. Smith.
Yes, probably, yeah. So, comics-wise, I'm 2000 AD through and through.
Yeah, cool.
And I loved Marvel growing up. I was a big Hulk fan because I was old enough to see the TV show.
Okay.
And that was my favourite TV show when I was very young. I've still got Hulk annual that I had, 1979 Hulk annual.
The Bill Bixby one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's got proper Marvel stories. It's actually got, the stories in that have actually got Black Bolt. And
oh, really?
yeah, it's got Great Refuge and all that. And
okay.
So I started characters I knew nothing about for about 10 years after that, and then went, they're quite important characters.
Excellent.
So that was my principles in comics. I should be a Marvel guy, but pretty much all my favourite graphic novels are DC, which is
okay.
Weird.
I kind of know what you mean. I'm principally a Marvel fan, and I think Marvel have the better characters. Over DC has some strong characters. Marvel has just a greater range of characters, I think. But with that, and maybe because of that, Marvel sometimes struggle keeping ongoing storylines going. Marvel is more of a soap opera, really. You just kind of jump on and off for a while. Whereas DC is very good at self-contained stories, which probably works better as a trade paperback. Whereas, it's Marvel's fun to throw yourself and live in. DC's fun to pick up odd stories of and enjoy. Where I think if you picked up a random Marvel trade paperback, you would probably be lost. Certainly much more so if you went in and picked a Batman trade paperback at random, you would be more likely to get a self-contained story with that.
The other thing that I heard with those sort of things is that DC, the writers struggle to keep up with DC a little bit because every character's got their own comic. And if you're doing something with a character in his own comic,
Batman's got 4 or 5 normally because he's normally detective comics. Batman's
Robin,
The Adventures of Batman, Nightwing.
They struggle to cross over a lot of the time because if Commissioner Gordon's doing something in his comic, you can't put him in Batman doing this because he's already doing something else.
It must be a nightmare.
So timelines obviously cross over.
It's a nightmare to
I think
orchestrate.
Marvel probably don't cross over so much, but like you say, it's a long soap opera and it just carries on.
I think Marvel just doesn't give a fuck sometimes. Well, they're just like, because if you do it, I'm on Marvel Unlimited, so like I say, I just read everything, and I'm like, I'm sure there's like 5 Maria Hills and 2 Dum Dum Duggars running around. It's the only way I can account for them being all everywhere. So a bit of everything for you, really. Then,
love comics,
love Heroclix, love tabletop gaming outside of Heroclix.
All tabletop
gaming,
except Games Workshop,
even Blood Bowl.
I love Blood Bowl, but Games Workshop.
Okay, you're right.
I refuse to give them any more than my mate ever. I got burned when I was 20, I guess.
Okay.
Came for a lot of money at it.
So historical sci-fi horror bit.
Historical sci-fi. Doing the Mantic Walking Dead.
Yes,
Bolt Action. I like the Conflict 47 version of Bolt Action.
It does look fun, actually.
Vampires and all sorts.
Have you seen much of that?
No, I haven't.
It's a spin-off from Bolt Action.
Bolt Action.
The idea being the wars continued in 1947, and they've got mechs turning up.
Okay.
And the Germans have got werewolves, I think.
Werewolves, vampires, and zombies. The Russians get zombies and kind of crazy people. And
the Russians got werebears?
Yes, they have now, which
it looks a lot of fun.
It's like jetpacked paratroopers. Got a really nice set of Russian women. An all-female unit.
Awesome.
That. It's nice. Play a lot of post-apocalypse sort of stuff. There's quite a lot of indie games as well. I do like places like Salute are good to go out and get.
I love that. Again, there's something really, really punk rock about some guys taking like this obscure battle from 1912 in Singapore you've never heard of, and they've made this thing. They've got their mates around. They've playtested it. They've hand stapled it themselves. And there's just something DIY hardcore punk about that. I absolutely love that can exist in that culture.
Sort of like just a Hamburger Hill.
We say DIY punk rock. So that sounds better than cottage industry.
Absolutely. So in our life,
definitely.
I like a lot of Osprey books as well. Osprey have gone bananas and are just covering every single possible scenario that you could cover in tabletop gaming. From Gaslands.
Gaslands is setting the world, and no pun intended, Gaslands seems to be setting the world on fire at the moment. Have you seen Gaslands?
No.
It's Osprey's Mad Max type game.
Oh, okay. I think you might have mentioned that before.
We played Devil's Run, which is the board game version, but I'm looking at. I might pick up a rulebook, and because it's the same scale cars, give it a try.
Well,
okay.
I am angling to get a demo at broadside.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Have the Gaslands guy down.
Oh, nice. Okay, we'll do that.
We'll
plug broadside at the end of the episode, so watch out for that.
Yes. But the Osprey obviously do a little bit of everything. Even updating other people's games. I play Burrows and Badgers.
Oh, bloody hell! That's going back a bit.
These
guys, Red Wall.
Everyone says Red Wall. I don't know what Red Wall is. I've kind of seen a few pictures online because every time I post a picture, someone goes, "Oh, Red Wall."
Yeah, it worked for easy. Fun kids' adventure stories.
But it's for anthropomorphic gaming.
So
they had their own Spit and Sword rulebook, and now Osprey are doing a nice hardback, which I'm hoping to get the Salute this year.
Oh, awesome!
Which would be really smart. But that's the sort of thing. I mean, at the moment, anthropomorphic gaming. I don't know why, but I'm really
enjoying
loving the characters.
Okay, Dave's a closet furry. Okay, but we're here we've got the brand new X-Men Xavier's Academy.
I'm really excited.
Brick. And we're going to do an unboxing, which means we've got to bring it up on the Brick Fury conveyor belt. He's running. There we go. We have the X-Men, Xavier's Academy. Oh, look at that. Lovely first class looking X-Men.
Old school.
Old school, Xavier's
Old school
School,
X-Men.
X-Factor. Headmasters, which looks like Magneto and Wolverine. I'm always up for another Magneto Clicks.
Yes.
Because I have a Magneto Clicks.
They don't make very many
£20
Wolverine
for
Clicks.
who does not have the Brotherhood of Mutants keyword.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Bit of a fuck up, really. That's right, Paul's got a memoir that can't swim.
Brilliant.
So, X-Men Xavier's Academy. I've not seen any spoilers list for this. I've not seen any preview up for this. This one just came, for whatever reason, just totally passed me by, this one. So what do we expect from this one?
Well, we've got to go with old school X-Men.
Old school X-Men.
Yeah, that's
Always a
yes.
first class.
Looks like that's the way it is. I kind of aware that there is bringing back the ID card as well.
Ooh.
So which is rather nice.
Yeah.
Because they kind of run through the Marvel set previously, haven't they? So
So they were a fun.
There was
They
an
were
Avengers
handy.
set and there was a DC
They
set.
were really handy if at your build you had a couple of points left, and it was just
so-
like especially.
So it's
like
nice that
Warrior,
they kind
you
of
chuck him in.
left it a while and come back to it. So I think
Yeah,
that's
because
just
you had a
good.
Red Hulk ID card, I think.
Yes,
You
if
could
you
just walk
say.
Red Hulk in for a return,
Yes.
punch a hole in something.
Have a go at
In the
Rocket.
world.
There was one game where basically I had Rocket Raccoon and he charged Red Hulk at him, and there was just a noise like a golf ball being struck, and Rocket was dead.
Quite heinous.
His Red Hulk is a thing to be feared. Yes, old school X-Men would be nice. Maybe some of the newer ones as well. Like I love the current X-23 operating as the current Wolverine. I'm a big fan of. Myself,
yeah.
a couple of things I really like. Do we think we're going to get bad guys though? Are we going to get some X-Men bad guys as well?
I'm trying to think who would have been bad guys in the apart from Magneto in the
Yeah.
early days.
It would be mainly Magneto
Blob.
with the
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Oh that's true. Blob.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably possibly still get Mystique.
Yeah, if we're talking about Silver stuff, it was principally Magneto, Toad, Blob, Mystique.
Basically the first X-Men movie.
Sabretooth came in at that time as well.
Sabretooth was similar time.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Sabretooth was a little bit later.
Yeah,
but I
maybe
couldn't
with
say.
Wolverine, actually
Yeah.
thinking on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Even some like classic 90s stuff with Mr. Sinister would be nice.
Mm.
Anything from the 90s X-Men cartoon was one got into.
I remember there was a computer game, a really addictive
Jungle.
Xbox X-Men game.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember what it was called. For the life of me, I know
It
I
was
played it a lot.
Baldur's Gate, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the one.
yeah.
Yeah. I think there were two, 1 and 2.
Ultimate Alliance?
Yes,
Yeah,
Ultimate Alliance.
yeah.
Yes, I think it was Spider-Man or Avengers as well. But,
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They did a few, I think.
but I would imagine because that was really it was kind of very very old school X-Men, but with the voice of
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart
Oh, brilliant.
doing Professor X. He guides you. He was talking you the halfway
Excellent.
through it.
Right. So we've got no ideas of spoilers. We've got no idea yet. Who would you most like to see turn up in this unboxing? Stanley's not available. Don't get your hopes up.
Personally, I still need a Jean Grey.
A decent
I
Jean
don't have
Grey.
Jean Grey,
Okay.
so, I've got a few X-Men clicks.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of nice Wolverines and that rather groovy
Yeah.
Weapon X.
You've got a nice Colossus as well, I think, haven't you?
Yeah, it's got smart
Yeah,
Colossus.
yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, Jean Grey's definitely what I'm missing, and old school Beast. Mr. About old school
Yes.
Beast earlier.
Talk about
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Beast
Beast was one of your favourites as a kid.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
absolutely. He was,
Beast and
yeah.
Hulk, just angry fat people, was he?
So he wasn't in the early days. He wasn't blue, was he? So he's
Yeah.
No,
It's
it's
just like a guy
with huge feet.
gorilla.
huge,
Yeah.
huge feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, huge feet. And Angel was obviously in the early
Oh,
series, and that a nice one of Angel would be really cool.
Would be good.
Yeah,
actually. Yeah. So I'd like to see another X-23 just because I really like it. Like to see a more recent one.
Mhm.
Well, I see the picture of Iceman on the side.
Yeah.
It's the Iceman. But I wonder if there'd be like the snow type Iceman.
Oh, the original
Really old school.
Mr. Frosty looking
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd actually quite like I dare say Chris Xavier's going to turn up in Xavier's Academy just because I don't own a decent Xavier. Yeah, there's a lovely beast sculpt there actually.
Yeah.
Appears to be wearing Captain Britain's uniform. Yeah,
Well,
I just like a decent Storm, just because I'm not a huge Storm fan, but I just got jobbing Storms in my collection. She's more drizzle, you know.
I mean, of the original story was just the Beast, Cyclops,
Cyclops, Jean Grey,
Professor X, Jean Grey, Iceman.
yeah, Professor Xavier.
Angel.
Angel, yes, of course.
Angel was in the certainly
the first,
early ones, yeah.
possibly the first story. I know I've got somewhere like a real origins story.
But I'm up for another Magneto as well. I love Magneto. He's genuinely one of my favourite villains because he's that perfect villain who's convinced he is right.
Yeah,
that's why.
He's a strong character. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But he's not necessarily evil because they originally it was Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
Yeah,
and then they kind of changed it to Brotherhood of Mutants because let's face it, they're freedom fighters.
Their PR company had words. We think we should drop the evil from the title. It's sending mixed messages. Yeah, I did once, and I felt really, really, really bad about it afterwards. In a team, accidentally put Magneto and Red Skull together, and I've never felt so awkward in my life. So, that must have been an awful minibus ride to that on. So before we go on, a few quick fire questions. Dave, favourite X-Man?
Oh God, I'm going to be horrible to say Wolverine.
Wolverine. He's a good bag. Rough enough.
You're always scared of him when he turns up on the board.
Yeah. Oh, it's because he's blades and fangs for the gills.
Blades and flurry.
Ian's favourite X-Men?
I'm still going to go with my the original Beast.
Original Beast,
yeah, because I used to like him as a kid and that sort of thing. So
I kind of like Gambit, but at the moment it's still the new Wolverine. X-23 for me is kind of coming out.
Oh, okay, really?
And I'll always be in love with Rogue as well.
Yeah, right.
She's just
lovely.
Not Anna Paquin, just Rogue.
Yeah.
Favourite X-Men villain? I think we've kind of probably touched on it, haven't we?
I do know, I've got a bit of a liking for Sabretooth as well.
Sabretooth is good.
I've got that Clicks, played the game there, and Sabretooth was really quite cool.
He punches holes and stuff.
The early comics, it was like Juggernaut as well.
Yeah, Juggernaut is Xavier's brother.
That's right. Yeah. So yes, I remember and. Yeah, I think I would say go.
Favourite X-Men movie?
Possibly number 2.
I do really like the second one. The second one was a wonderful lead up to what could have been a great third movie.
Yeah, and then the huge disappointment.
Are you cancelling the spin-offs?
I am cancelling the favourite's the spin-off.
The most recent Wolverine.
Okay.
By far the best story. Yeah, Logan.
Yeah. It's Deadpool for me.
Yeah, Deadpool. Yeah, Deadpool does. It's X-Men as well, isn't it? So,
Colossus. It's the best version of Colossus we've seen.
Yes. Yeah.
And the only version of Nick Warhead we've seen, which was a surprise for all of us.
I would say with the Logan film, I would say the best scripted.
Oh wow!
Of all of them, I would say.
Awesome. Yeah. So what we're going to have to do now is we're going to have to go and get the Stan Lee knife, slice this open, and take a look at what we've got inside.
Box number 1.
Box number 1 with a brand new tripod. You can't see it, but it looks great.
It's looking pretty cool. I have a Cyclops, so 60 points, 7 range.
Quite a 1990s arcade cabinet looking.
Yes,
Cyclops.
yeah. 3 damage, penetrating blast.
3 damage penetrating. Yeah, that's nice and thematic.
But yeah, that's fair enough. Energy field deflection as well. I can't say it. Energy field deflection.
Okay. How many clicks has he got?
So 6 clicks according to the card.
60 points, okay.
Defense seems pretty high as usual with these new modern clicks. We've got
trait X Factor. When this character hits with an attack, modified damage +1 for each 5 in the attack roll.
Sidestep quite a lot as well.
Sidestep goes all the way through.
So yeah, it's not. You can move around.
Move around and blast, penetrating 3 plus that nice little buff there.
Yes,
it's quite similar. Nice. I've got a similar Cyclops in a previous set, but he doesn't get the penetrating, which is odd.
They're kinky boots as well.
Yes,
yeah,
it's done very well, isn't it?
Yeah, nice.
Okay, that's a good one to start with.
This is Mondo. Seems to have got the things on.
He does.
70 points. He starts off with 3 damage again. And, blimey, first 3 clicks and 3 damage.
Okay, so he's a hole puncher.
Yeah.
Trait this time, Generation X. Power. Move up to 5 squares, then make a close attack.
Okay, modified charge.
Box out for the move is up from the earth. 3. If Mondo occupies printed hindering terrain, you may place him into a square of printed hindering terrain within 5 squares.
So you can kind of man-thing across.
He obviously must metamorphise other objects. He's a pug. He's super strength as well.
We're 2 for 2 at the moment. That's actually
that's really nice.
Well, he's got a box out on the defence as well there.
Okay, what's that?
Matter absorption, toughness, invulnerability, but only if Mondo occupies hindering terrain. Impervious, but only if he's adjacent to a piece of blocking terrain.
Okay, so he
blends. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, really good.
It's a nice thematic.
Blends the arm.
Punchy piece.
We have Storm. I've heard of her.
Oh, Mohawk Storm.
Nice bit of lightning work. 50 pointer. Again, hard to get through that defence again, 17. It's a low point model. It's, I say, I'm a bit precarious on when I took it out of the box, but apart from that, it seems to be fine.
So she gets leadership.
Sorry, headmistress.
And perplex, but only to target another friendly character with the X-Men keyword.
Okay.
During force construction, you may include one student ID card on your force without adding its cost.
Right, we haven't seen any of those yet.
In the price.
Yeah.
So she's a teacher at
Yeah.
the school.
Yeah, she's headmaster at the moment.
An ex-student.
Yes.
He needs a better name.
Yeah.
Don't tell me real name various.
Split dial, 25 or 15 points. So
Could have dial that keeps going all the way around.
yeah. So you got so you can choose it rather than not like
It's a way of getting 4 options out of one model.
it's a bit not like test subjects where you roll the dice, but
Yeah.
so you got sidestep and supportive.
Yeah, you've got a choice of powers. That's not bad for 25 points. I mean, I wouldn't want to field a 300-point team consisting just of ex-students.
We have an X-Trainee.
Okay.
This is a different idea, obviously.
Yeah. So you could have set up a couple of scenarios of having a ruck at Xavier's Academy quite easily, because you'd have a lot of rank and file generic mutants, for want of a better term.
Charge and super strength on a 25-point model.
So I guess if you choose each one and you to have a varied,
Yeah.
you get a group of them.
You could get a nice gang of background mutants.
And not a bad paint job, to be honest with you.
No, face work's very nice, actually.
Not bad.
Not just for a Heroclix.
That looks a bit special. We've got a double card.
That is lovely.
Okay.
Magneto Realist. Oh, we've got the trait is inside the booklet.
Oh, okay.
So the whole trait is just.
This is a new it's a plot point system. So he's called a title character. Title characters start the game and can accumulate tokens called plot points on their card. They have special plot abilities activated by free actions that can add or remove plot points, add plot points, and use up plot points. So basically, as the game goes along, there's certain actions you can take with this character, like that would give you plot points. And there's something you can spend them to trigger extra special abilities. Okay.
Takes a bit more reading, that one, I think.
Yeah.
And it's a trait, so you can't outwit that or anything like that. So.
Stiff dial on this one.
Thank you.
I like the actual model. It's really good. Yeah.
There we go. So we've got a decent Magneto straight off the bat. Very complicated Magneto.
At the end of your turn, if a character
won't
activated a
change.
plot ability but didn't make an attack, so if you activate one of the plot abilities but didn't make an attack in that turn, you take 1 unavoidable damage. When Magneto Realist is KO'd, friendly characters modify damage -1 for the rest of the game, so he is one to build your force around. He gets 1 plot point when, as a free action, all friendly characters within range modify attack +1 until your next turn. But obviously, bear in mind doing that, you've got to make an attack, otherwise you're going to take that unavoidable damage. You can spend 2, so that each time you do that +1 to attacks, you get a plot point. You can spend 2 of those plot points to activate Magnetic Wave, which is move all friendly characters within range up to 2 squares. And if you manage to save up enough, you can spend 9 plot points to the Dream of Supremacy as a free action for the rest of the game, as long as Magneto Realist is on the map. Friendly characters modify damage +1.
100 points.
That doesn't seem expensive enough.
And I tell you, it's a standard model. He rocks.
How many clicks we got?
It's 7 clicks.
He's stuck on the 3rd click. So
He starts with penetrating. He starts with 4 damage on the first 2 clicks, 3 damage
really
the rest of it.
Liking to go around at this.
He's an angry Ian McKellen, and quite like him.
Yeah. Precision Strike comes in as well.
Jean Grey,
Oh, cool.
but looking like Rogue. Has to be said.
60 points.
Green and yellow costume, the red hair.
When this character hits with an attack, modified damage by +1 for each 5 on the attack rolls. That's coming up quite round here. Sidestep, TK as you'd expect. Pulse Wave, Super Senses, Edge Field Deflection.
Kind of generic psycho powers.
Yeah, that's what. And as I say, only 60 points.
60 points, quite basic.
6 clicks, 17 defence. The last click, 18 defence with Energy Field Deflection.
So next up, we have a Mystique.
Oh, lovely.
Okay.
She's got team abilities for both X-Men and Brotherhood of Mutants.
It's a 60-pointer.
Shape
change. Finally, she's got shape change. Yeah. If
Some
Mystique,
powers write themselves, don't
yeah,
they?
if Mystique is adjacent to an opposing character, she can't be attacked by a non-adjacent character. And we've got blades and we've got super senses.
How chuffed would you be picking this pack off the shelf and
If
get
you got
Mystique
this
and Magneto.
If you got that box,
Yeah.
amazing.
And we're only on 3 of 5, so...
What rarity was that Magneto? Is that a gold?
Yeah, he's a super rare.
Yeah.
Okay, there's our big boy for the brick.
Yeah.
Nice model, that.
Skids.
Oh dear. Skids.
Skids.
Unfortunate
It's not a
name.
power pack, is it?
40 points. Morlocks.
Okay.
Mutant Liberation
Ah,
Force or Front. New Mutants and X Factor.
Bit faded on the base.
People's Liberation Front of Morlocks.
Got Barrier Defend at the beginning of a turn.
barrier
Skids may
effect
knock
also
back
affects-
as an adjacent opposing character.
That barrier effect is nice because it is basically how they would have drawn that in the comic.
Yes, absolutely.
A 40-point character with 18 defense all the way through the click.
I can't leave it in.
18 defense all the way through the dial.
Also,
18, and it's a red box.
Sim Senses.
Yeah. And then what's the box out on the defence at the end?
It's try and you skid right off. It's Barrier Defend. At the beginning of your turn, Skid may knock back an adjacent opposing character 1 square.
Okay.
And Moira MacTaggert.
Real name, Moira MacTaggert.
That's funny.
We need to go back to the PR company on that one.
X-Men the Scientist. It's a support piece. It's only 3 clicks. Got Outwit, 25 points.
Is that not Rose Byrne's character in First Class?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Sidestep, gets around a bit.
What's the black power on damage?
It's Outwit.
Outwit. Okay, yes, she's got 0 damage the last click, but still has outwit.
Yeah, so I say you keep her at the back and she can, outwit some people.
Yeah,
And obviously
reasonable
bring down the
support.
student ID
Down at
card.
the back, dressed stupid and looking stupid.
Yeah, no.
25 points.
Artie.
Now that looks different, doesn't it? eh?
He's a
It's-
bit
He is a Morlock.
Omen looking, isn't he?
Yeah, Generation X, New Mutants, X Factor.
Jeez, you sure he's not a Heroclix?
He looks quite spooky, doesn't he? Yeah?
grotesque.
Yeah.
A trait is mind control
Okay, as a trait.
as a trait, yeah? 25 points.
He's tiny as well.
He's from comic X Factor 2, which
Yeah,
is
it was an
Daydreamers.
X-Factor one.
Yeah. Shape change as well. Sidestep and stealth.
Cypher, 2 wattages, 70 and...
Yeah, so
35.
It's 70 and 35. You got obviously a red line there for the 35.
Yeah.
And the 70 does no damage. I've got to read that one.
He's got a box out.
Jason friendly characters and friendly characters within 3 squares of the New Mutant keyword have protect or outwit. Defense it's a stop click.
Okay.
Invincible. Cypher can't be healed above this click for the rest of the game. So once it hits that, then it's a stop click, and then you have to hit him again before it will start to move. Yeah. So that still gives you.
They are a bit
After that,
similar.
it gives you invincible as well. Yeah.
Head swap or just
It's,
a paint job?
I think it might just be a paint job, to be honest with you.
Let's check the haircut. That's
I think it's just I think that might just be... Oh, maybe a little bit of green stuff, but no, that's just a repaint.
well.
Which is fine. Cost of it got to be done
Okay, it's one of those.
somewhere.
I just realised it's a reverse dial. So 35 is the green line. So he hasn't got any attack ability for 35 points. The 70 points is the rest of the dial.
Okay,
So 1 to 2 is 35,
okay.
and 70 is the whole dial.
So that's why it's a stop click.
That's why it's a stop click, fair enough, yeah.
Okay, but it's unusual.
But at 70 points, at least you get a stop click. Whatever damage is dealt to him
It
is
stops,
already
yeah.
stopped. Yeah.
That'll put a crimp in Foom's day, won't it? I have Karma. 6 range, 3 lightning bolts.
40 points. Blimey, okay. 2 damage, shape change, can be mind control again. So support piece again. At the beginning of the turn, if this character is adjacent to a friendly character with the New Mutants keyword, you may heal this character 1 click. If you do so,
Another repeated
friendly
swap.
characters can't make attacks this turn.
Okay. Unusual one. 40 points, bit of an oddity.
Yeah, but that's an instant heal with a click as well, just by being adjacent. So
And the last one is what looks like Mothra. Oh, well, that's actually one I'm quite impressed with. It's Banshee.
75 to 40 points. Again, I would say it's that.
He looks like a bird that swallowed a plate.
Again, click 1 this time is the 75 points, yeah, and then 40 is the second half.
That's such a weird way of doing it. I wonder why they've done
There's a
that.
couple of dials like that. I've got Eye Vampire does the same
Every
thing.
single one of your werewolves has got a weird dial.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of willpower. Might as well have just made him indomitable,
Running
to be
shot,
honest with
force
you.
blast, sidestep, pulse wave.
Oh, he's not bad actually, is he?
It gets leadership and perplex as a trait,
quite
but
like
only
him.
to target another friendly character with the Generation X keyword.
Mm-hmm.
And also can do the student ID card thing. Okay.
Okay.
Energy field. I can't say. I'm gonna give up saying energy field deflection. 17 with that.
How many points is he?
75 or 40.
He's really good.
He's rock and roll. He is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite impressed by that one.
Yeah, and it is quite an early character.
Compared to the rest of you, I've got a mostly wank pack, but I think he makes up for it.
you have a bonus because that was in the pack as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, who have we got? We have got an ID card for Sprite. In the Ultimate Universe, it's called Lilt. Okay, so if you've got a Sprite model knocking around,
You could.
it's actually only 3 points to use this one.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, other identities, Kitty Pryde. So if you've got a Kitty Pryde knocking around, you can use a Kitty Pryde.
Oh, okay. Box number 4.
Phat.
I like the page job.
He's a bit blunt man and chronic, isn't he?
Yeah, 75 points.
Original
X-Men on the dial.
Headlines. When Phat hits one or more opposing characters, after resolutions, give him a headline token. It's more than just a name, it's a lifestyle. At the beginning of your turn, you may roll a d6. On a 1, opponent's choice of other results. 2, speed. 3, attack. 4, defense. 5, damage. 6, your choice. Phat modifies the resulting combat value -1 and the rest of his combat values +1 until your next turn.
Okay.
Phat Arm of the Law. Giant Reach 2. Giant Reach for 2. Free. Remove X headline
He's not
tokens.
trim on his arm and his hand, bollocks it.
Oh, right. So for each headline token you remove, you can use an extra one on your reach.
Okay.
Kelsey
Beast!
Are you happy now?
Yes, 50 points.
Perfect usable.
X-Men First Class. This character makes the first attack during a turn and hits friendly characters with the X-Men keyword modify attack +1.
Oh, wow.
So if you can make him go first.
Yeah.
And hits, obviously.
And you've got box out attack as well. That's the damage.
Okay.
Sorry, that's the trait. And you've got the bouncing beast on the
Oh, yeah, on the attack,
on the attack. Quake. When beasts use it, either modify attack +1 or increase damage dealt by +1.
He starts with 3 damage, yeah. Modified Quake, yeah.
And then you've pretty much got standard beast, charge, sleep, climb.
Yeah,
Toughness,
he's only got toughness.
He's a pretty
yeah.
easy character to make a dial for, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's
Happy
good.
now?
Yes, very much so. Husk. 40-point Husk.
Is that a typo for Hulk?
New rocks, painted yellow. In case of emergency, shed skin on the different box out and defense. Free. Choose a standard defense power. Husk can use the chosen power until your next turn.
Another Cyclops.
Another Cyclops.
Is it a
Oh, it's a 50-point Cyclops.
50-point Cyclops?
Yeah, so it looks like they're going sort of origins, but with different sets of
Yeah,
X-Men.
that's nice.
Funny enough, he gets optic blast.
Is it penetrating by any chance?
You'd be upset if you didn't, wouldn't you? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Is it penetrating?
No, so
It says
doesn't
box out on the attack, it might be.
Oh, okay.
the optic blast penetrating psychic blast. Yeah.
He's a pretty good leader then.
Leadership. Yeah. Synch.
Synch. Real name Everett Thomas from Generation X. 4 clicks for 45 points. The only power on the dial is willpower. But he does have 2 traits. He has a Generation X trait, which is power action, move up to 5 squares and make a close attack. And he also has power mimicry and amplification. As a free action, choose a friendly character within range and choose a standard power that character can use. Synch can use the chosen power until your next turn. If the chosen character has the Generation X keyword, he can use Perplex in addition to the chosen power. You could build some fun teams around him. So only 4 clicks, and he's got willpower, and essentially a carbon copy of every other power your team has in theory.
Nice. 5 range. So. Could be interesting.
Yeah.
Skin
Is
so we've
another.
had Phat and Skin.
Yeah, he's 50 pointer, 5 clicks. His move attack appears to be in Spanish, which I don't speak, so apologies in advance to any Spanish speakers. Siempre en alcanzar, which means the jungle, it came alive and it took him. It gives him plasticity, a giant reach of 2. Opposing characters within 2 squares and line of fire treat Skin as adjacent for movement. So he must have some sort of stretching power.
That'll be those arms.
It
then.
does.
Yeah.
I do feel it's worth pointing out that on the card he has the face of Eddie from Iron Maiden.
He does look a zombie look about
does.
it. Yeah.
If not powerful, there's some interesting dials and characters in this set so far.
I actually quite like the model.
Yeah,
So
he's a
that's
fun
quite
model. He could turn
interesting-
Walking Dead as well, couldn't
Yes. Okay, this is
he?
Icarus.
Icarus from the New Mutants. As a
That's really nicely
That's
done,
nice,
actually.
yeah.
He has
Yeah.
a trait of Hellions. When this character's attack roll is 10 or more, damage dealt by that attack is penetrating. As a trait, he has Ex-Student. When this character or an adjacent friendly character's attack roll includes exactly 1 natural 5, modify 1 target's defense -1. which I think we've seen a couple of times.
That's it's a recurring one.
The movement box out is just want to keep flying. Can charge. When Icarus uses it, he can use willpower and can move through figures this turn. Last click has regen as well.
Mr. Sinister.
Nathan Essex.
Oh, now that is nice.
That's really done well.
He has the Horseman for the Apocalypse kit. As a trait, he has Shape Change. As a trait, he has Survivor of the Age of Apocalypse for now. When Mr. Sinister is damaged by an opposing character, give that character a Revenge token. When Mr. Sinister attacks a character with one or more of tokens named Revenge, modify attack and damage +1. When Mr. Sinister is KO'd, you may choose an opposing character with a token named Revenge and remove all of those tokens and roll that many d6s. For each roll, 5 or 6, deal that character 1 penetrating damage. That's a Wolverine killer.
Yes. Yeah.
Lurking Manipulator, Stealth and Sidestep. At the beginning of your turn, you may place Mr. Sinister adjacent to a friendly character within 6 squares. If you do, he can't make an attack this turn.
The dials, what is the damage all the way through? Looks like 3 damage.
3 damage across the board, 100
Blimey.
points, 6 clicks, but that's some serious powers there.
Yeah,
That's really
pretty
powerful.
meaty.
Last
I
click
like
has
him.
regen,
Nice.
Good.
which, you know, if you're lucky, will double the length of your dial.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Invincible for the first couple of clicks, penetrates. He's
Well, does it? I mean, does it say shape changes a trait?
shape change for a
So you've got to get through that as well.
Oh yeah, and then yeah, as you say, invincible and regen.
Yeah, he's going to be hard to knock down.
And the last 2 clicks, he's got prob as well.
He's going to be interesting.
He's bitey as hell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a really good
yeah.
box though.
That's
you pulled that. Pulled that box.
I'm glad I don't play OPs with you guys very often.
I've always been lucky with
trying to
boxes.
phone Shadow Cat.
Marvel Girl, which is another Jean Grey.
All new X-Men.
First
and
class.
X-Men.
First class.
X-Men first class.
Yeah.
If this character makes a first attack during the turn, so similar to that beast model, hits a friendly character and hits friendly characters with the X-Wing modify their range by +1. TK, like you'd expect. When Marvel Girl uses it to make an object attack, either modify attack +1 or increase damage dealt by +1. Psychic Blast,
It's a fair few powers on there.
50 points.
Anole.
Anole,
Ta-da!
ex-student. So you've got that roll of 5 thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Reptilian, yes. Reptilian regeneration. Regeneration is, and I'll uses it to, you can heal 2 more clicks, give him a transformation token, modify his combat values by +1 for each transformation token. Well,
That's not bad for 30 points.
agile, leap, climb, stealth, toughness,
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's like a good guy toad.
5 clicks, 30 points.
That's pretty good for 30 points. I'm impressed by that.
Yeah.
Hellion. I don't think we've had yet.
No, I don't think so. There's one reference to Hellion.
Again, would double as a nice Canadian if you did want to build that Akira team.
Hellions and X-Men as
Yeah.
keywords. Julian Keller, 40 points, 4 clicks. Got the ex-student bit. Telekinesis. When Hellion uses it, you may deal him 1 unavoidable damage. If you do, after resolutions have been used, telekinesis at no extra cost. So it's basically a free mobility attack, should take a hit.
Mm-hmm.
And
dial.
the trait is when his character attack rolled is a 10 or more, damage dealt by that attack is penetrated. So it's a bit like that flying dude, yeah?
It's a very short dial.
Same Hellions Icarus.
It's from the comics, like Hellions, it's New Mutants #2.
Iceman.
Bobby,
Hey,
50 points.
can be my wingman anytime.
This will slow you down. Incapacitate. When Iceman uses it, either modify attack by +1 or after all resolutions, a hit character gains immobile until your next turn. It can't be moved or placed. Running shot, sidestep, toughness, barrier. Makes sense, doesn't it?
We have Emma Frost.
50 points, 5 clicks, high defense, 18 defense, got willpower, super senses, shape change, outwit, and she can also bring down a student ID card because you must come under the. She's still got the usual the Hellfire Club keywords. That's
Okay. That's not a bad booster there.
What, 50 points? I think it's pretty good.
That's a really good booster in general.
Yeah.
Done well there. I actually picked a good one.
Rusty, 40 points.
Mutant Liberation Front, New Mutants X Factor.
He gets around a bit.
Penetrate Psychic Blast. When Rusty hits an opposing character, give that character a fire token if it doesn't already have one. Characters with a fire token have, at the beginning of your turn, deal this character 1 penetrating damage.
Oh, blimey,
When
really?
this character moves through water or clears action tokens, remove the fire token.
That's a better pyro than my pyro.
That's quite a good pyro, isn't it, actually? We have dust. Look at that. That's quite a unique model.
It's
isn't
another
it?
Hellion. And Scouring Sands. Smoke clouds is free, but I need to place 4 markers. At the end of each opponent's turn, deal 1 damage to each opposing character occupying or adjacent to a smoke marker.
So it's like
Placed
poison.
by dust.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or aggressive dust clouds.
yeah.
And Swirling Sands on defence box out. Dust modifies defence +1 for each adjacent smoke cloud marker placed near her.
Oh, okay, so she's laid them down as
Placed
well.
by her.
Yeah, it's a nice model.
That's
Yeah,
really
nice sculpt. Oh, yeah, 60 points.
Obviously, they're going with the Xavier's school theme.
Yeah. It's nice to see it's actually stayed consistent with the theme as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he hadn't chucked a Spider-Man in.
No, exactly.
Box out on attack.
Heat transfer, box out. When Oya hits 2 characters with a range attack, after resolutions, deal 1 penetrating damage to 1 and give the other an action token.
Okay, so it's worthwhile splitting that attack then.
Could be quite nasty.
6 range, yeah. And they spent a little while on the paint job as well.
Yeah, it would have been easy.
Got a bit of translucent as well. Yeah,
Done a good
yeah.
job.
Yeah, nice.
Is that the same one we saw?
It's the same one, 60 points. No, this is
It
that's
is
60
one.
point Iceman.
It's
Someone shot him in the back.
He's slightly,
yeah, it's more.
yeah, it's not quite see-through. I reckon you're going to go to a higher point.
Oh, yeah, you got
Snowman.
a frost one.
I've got a 50 point, and how much is your one?
60.
So he's a bit. Look, he's
And
slippery.
Fragile.
Slippery. That's what that was.
Chill out, incapacitate with 3 attacks. Phoebe Cuckoo.
It's got ex-student, so it's got that hit on a 5, defense goes drops down by 1. As a trait, there's 3 in 1. Perplex, but only if a friendly character named Celeste Cuckoo or Mindee Cuckoo is within 3 squares and only to target herself. Box out on defense is a stop click, and it's impervious. Phoebe Cuckoo can't be healed after that point.
Is it a split dial? Or is it?
No, it's just 5 clicks,
okay.
it's 50 points.
Jubilee. We're up with
Hey.
Jubilee
Yay.
next.
Well, you mentioned Jubilee earlier, did we?
Yeah.
The sunglasses aren't just fashion, dude. Energy explosion. When Jubilee uses it and hits, modify all hit characters at attack and defense -1 until your next turn.
Surge.
Surge.
Is it a lady or a man?
Yes.
Well, her real name's Noriko, so I'm sure you can work it out.
It's a bit obvious from the character. I might just turn that away from the.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's worse somehow.
As a box out of movement is channel the energy or release the energy. At the beginning of your turn, choose one. Hypersonic speed, or she has a range value of 6, and when she hits after resolutions, give all hit targets an action token. Surge can use the chosen effect this turn. Okay.
That's not bad. 40 points.
Yeah, for interesting power. Short dial, but interesting power.
The angel.
Hey.
He was hiding behind his wing.
Box out on combat is aerial assault, precision strike. When an angel makes a close attack, modify either attack +1 or damage +1.
Oh.
50 point of 5 clicks, a nice simple dial, but it's good to see Angel. It is an intriguing sculpt as well,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yes.
I'm not quite sure why he's hiding behind the wing, but I
Maybe it
really
needs-
like
maybe
it.
just needs boiling.
No, I think it's
It's-
deliberate.
no, I think it's intended.
deliberate.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
a nice
maybe he's
sculpt.
turning.
How do he used to defend himself?
Hey?
He used to, well, anyway, his metal wings obviously used to
Yeah,
defend
as
himself.
Archangel, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he's not broken the habit of being Archangel, he's just getting his wings shredded.
Oops. Mindee Cuckoo.
Mindee Cuckoo.
Oh, are we going to complete the set? 'Cause that'd be fun now.
Phoenix
wouldn't it?
Force, as you said before, got the ex-student keyword or trait. The same thing like the 3-in-1 perplex, but only to if a friendly character named Celeste Cuckoo or Phoebe Cuckoo is within 3 squares. So we haven't got Celeste or Phoebe, have we?
We've got Phoebe.
We've got
Phoebe.
Phoebe.
Sorry again. Flawless diamond forms stop and impervious. Mindee Cuckoo can't be healed.
That's a final click, so stop click.
So
pretty
that's-
handy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that is actually quite useful. Yeah.
I'm supposed to have not seen that more often, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
but does also give you impervious as well.
Yeah. Penance.
Power, give it up to 5 squares and then make a close combat attack. Leap climb, invulnerability. Diamond hard and razor edge, blades, claws, fangs. Penance can use during close attack instead of a close action. So Battle Fury pretty well runs through it all, and so does Toughness Motion.
She's quite well.
Yeah.
This makes up for not having a Wolverine, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of spiky. Yeah.
Oh my god, I can just see who this is. It's amazing. I can't believe he's got a Heroclix.
What's he called?
I can't believe he's got a Heroclix. It's Goldballs. Do you know what his special power is? He can make gold balls appear.
Yep, that seems to be.
That's amazing.
So he comes in at 45 points. Unique modifier, opposing characters adjacent to, occupying the same square as or holding one or more gold ball objects, modify their attack and defence by +1. Poink. Wearing gold boys.
That's the sound effect for gold balls, mate.
When gold ball hits an opposing character with a range attack, after resolutions you may generate a standard light object named gold ball into hit character square.
Brilliant.
So he's basically a dodgeball player.
Yeah, essentially.
Force blast, energy field deflection, and 5 clicks for 45 points.
Well, I can find a use for that as well.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. It's got that.
And how much does it cost to bring him down?
Her, and that's 3 points.
Oh yes,
It's X23.
X23. Okay.
Sprite opening up.
Kitty Pryde.
It's a colourful character, which you have the card for as
Yes, Kitty Pryde.
well.
5 clicks, 50 points.
Oh, it's good one then.
I like the little scoot on the base with the
Unique
clear.
one.
Okay. Trait, she's a child, what have I done? When Sprite is KO'd by an attack, after resolutions, the attacker is dealt 2 penetrating damage and given an action token. My phasing stuns Garrock. When Sprite moves through one or more opposing characters, once per turn you may roll a d6. 5+, give one of those characters an action token. Move through elevation, hindering, blocking, and characters, because Shadow Cat.
Yeah. Mercury.
Okay.
Looks like another Hellion with a red
X-Men,
costume.
Yep.
That's a nice sculpt as well.
Hellions, when this character's attack roll is 10 or more, damage dealt by that attack is penetrating. They've got that X-Student ability as well. 4 clicks for 35
35 points.
Super sensors all the way through the dial.
It's a nice model actually.
Yeah. Starts with 2 clicks of precision strike, followed by 2 clicks of
Blades.
Moira
Different
MacTaggert
version.
in a different costume.
Yeah. Moira MacTaggert, real name Moira MacTaggert.
It's the prime. It's
still.
the prime.
Oh, it's got a prime.
Yeah.
Nice. Trait, Pawn of the Shadow King. When an adjacent friendly character uses mind control, they can use it with 3 lightning bolts. Arena of Death and Science. As a free action, choose a character in a KO area and turn it to its starting click for this game. The starting click for this game. Choose a standard power that character can use. Moira MacTaggert can use the chosen power until your next turn. And finally, got a smile on Ian's face at the end.
That's what I say.
It's a different one.
Slightly different colouring.
Yeah.
We have Beast.
Defender's X Factor Scientist.
Now wearing the Captain America costume.
Yeah, so he's got that X Factor.
60 points.
Box set on movement is Bouncing Beast. Leap Climb. When Beast uses it and moves 4 squares or fewer, after resolutions you can make a close combat attack.
Nice.
6 clicks for 60 points. Load of super senses.
Yep.
Yeah, because he'd be kind of
Combat
bouncing around
reflexes.
hard to track. Yeah.
When that Bouncing Beast drops off, he just has normal charge for the rest of the dial.
Oh yeah. There you go.
I think that's a beast you wanted, wasn't it, Ian?
It's nice, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but he looks like he'll play like you want him to.
Yeah, that's right.
Including Outwit as well.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Yeah. Nice.
Excellent.
That's not a bad box.
Yeah.
That's really
We
good.
are very well
Yeah.
again. Okay. So we went into the danger room, had a look around, came back out of here. What's our initial impressions with the set overall, Ian?
I think it's lovely cross section. It's all early day stuff, but I think we've had a nice selection.
Yeah.
As such. It's,
Dave?
Yeah, you got the early days of X Factor and the original X-Men, and the sort of crossing costumes is quite nice. We've got like the 70s
Yes.
style costumes and the new black costumes, which is always a bonus.
For my take, I think it's the best set there's been for ages.
yeah, and
I think it's wonderful across the board.
the finish, the artwork is very good.
I think we only got one really duff box where we had a couple of students, and I think the highest pointing character in there was Banshee, who's not a bad character, but it's just
No,
not one.
no.
He's not an A-lister. Let's be honest.
One of the
But he
boxes
looks
have
like a
it.
bird.
It's swallowed a plate. Apart from that, I thought all of the boosters were balanced. Everyone came out of at least one character and made us go, "Oh yeah, we got one of those." There was there was an sense of excitement with each pack we opened. I think the sculpts and paint jobs have been incredibly good across the board. We got super excited by a couple of the high pointy guys like Mr. Sinister and Magneto that we saw.
Really well painted.
I mean, I've always said I'm not the biggest X-Men fan, but I'm more an Avengers or more particularly, I'm a Fantastic Four fan above all the other superhero groups. But even I found loads of characters and stuff I loved here.
Yes,
I just think it's been a superb set and easily one of the best for a while. Than what's the previous Marvel set.
There was a Thought one, wasn't there?
Thought, yeah.
Recently.
What If probably was the last one we did.
What
Which
If?
was wanky.
Which it could have been so. What If? What If?
It's-
Could have been so. But we've all realised that we've not used the models.
You're a journalist, you can say it's wank. That's
No,
okay.
but as I say, and the idea was good, but in actual practicality, none of us have used the models.
The main problem was that they were wank.
Apparently, they were wank. The most fun I ever had was my Doctor Strange cape coming off and trying it on different models.
You go and check in his Instagram. The Doctor Strange cape full off and but not even Heroclix after a while, just other things you had Doctor Strange's cape on for about a week on his Instagram. His blue tacky with his tiny cape to everything. Oh, what
Never
did
got on a tiny group.
Yeah. Did a baby group with Doctor. Oh, we have fun.
Strange group in the trees.
Strange.
Oh, parallel universes are fun to play with. But generally, I've just been super impressed by this set.
It's been a nice, as you say, every box has gone, oh yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, there's even the characters you weren't particularly aware of.
Okay.
They the sculpts were nice, or the power, or they were interesting dials.
Yeah.
Well, your face when Goldballs came out.
I'm not the biggest Goldballs fan. It's just a joy that there was a Goldballs clicks.
And they've spent a bit of time with it.
They've given him a Freddie Mercury pose and everything. They've worked hard on that. Yeah, I think the paint jobs have been, if not great, have been competent. There's none we've laughed at, which has been the case before.
And obviously, the more specialised models, they spend a bit more time on.
The Magneto,
really
he's got his Trojan helmet on, but there's facial detail. I'm never the resolution we shoot. I'll never get a picture of you, unfortunately. But I'm sure there's some wonderful photos online, most likely on Ian's Instagram. Forgive me 5 minutes. But just they've painted teeth.
Yes.
They've done the eyes in the Trojan helmet, and it looks amazing.
Yeah. I'm big on this dust. I like the. I don't know the character.
No, but it's so wonderful.
Yeah.
That's
gorgeous
really well
sculpt.
modelled, actually.
Yeah. Quality.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
And she looks a bit like the sorceress from She-Ra, which I'm.
Yes. Yes.
It's sort of Hordak's bin. But just a nice cross section. I suppose like having the first class guys there, having a 90s looking Cyclops.
Yeah.
It feels like there's something for everyone in this.
Yeah, and I say even the troops, like these the
was
students,
good.
they could work quite well together. I think so.
There was no true jobbers. There was no Genosian soldiers. Even the ex-students, there was a number of choices with the dial selection you could take to make it. And I'm quite story driven. I know you're a big role player. You like to have a character for the forces you put together. Yeah. Just pick a dial and you could easily come up with a little backstory in your head if you wanted to. And part of the fun as well. Yeah. The sculpts, the wing sculpt's lovely actually. Yeah, that's a bit. I'm just an angel. Yeah, he's dabbing a bit, but does look pretty good.
I think that's intended.
Yeah, I think that's.
If anything, I would say, have we got a slightly higher mix of good guys versus bad guys?
I think there's more goodies.
The bad guys are if I had one criticism, it would be the bad guys are underrepresented. Yeah. I've got a feeling Banshee was kind of a tweener. I think he went bad as well. Magneto obviously has flip-flopped a few times. I don't know Dust, she looks like she might be a villain.
They kind of have got to take on Mr. Sinister.
Mr. Sinister, Emma Frost has been a villain at times as well. But it's definitely weighted towards good. And that's fine because it was called X-Men Xavier's Academy. That is a pretty specific title. But I do wonder if they could have maybe effort for a little more.
Yeah. You've got the ones that have been in both camps, I suppose.
But they have stuck to that Xavier's school.
Yeah, they've taken the thing and stuck to it. They've not just, like you say, chucked in Spider-Man because I think a couple of years ago he was teaching at Xavier's Academy for whatever reason, and so they could have had grounds to put Spider-Man in. They didn't.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Or not that we've seen. So nice use of translucent plastic as well.
Yes, this is very nice.
I'm still getting the Phat on.
Just a little
right there. There's a little.
It's beautiful. There's a little bit of dust cloud kicked up behind there. That's
nice.
superb. Yeah, I'm
nice little touches.
It's hard to review some of this. I'm just impressed across the board. I'm nitpicking myself.
It is nicely done. We've seen some bricks. I don't know why they bothered with that. So. Yeah,
there's none here. So even the characters I don't know, I'm intrigued by. Like I said to you, whenever I shoot these, I go home and read a bunch of comics anyway, just because that's the frame that I'm pumped to do some stuff. But the characters I don't know, the dials by themselves are intriguing, or the sculpts are interesting by themselves. If I'd wrapped up an OP and got a couple of boxes of this, I'd been dead chuffed with any I pulled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've got my arse handed to me by Blake, but that's just a long standing tradition.
You might put Goldballs.
Yeah, lead Goldballs to glory.
I kind of want to go home and find a comic that's got Phat in it.
Yeah, why not?
Because Phat.
Yeah. So would we recommend this to people who are principally Marvel players?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I'm absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Would you recommend it to people who are principally DC players but may know a few pop culture or well-known?
They must
Marvel
know the
characters?
X-Men, I suppose.
Yeah.
Surely,
There's-
where have they been? Yes,
There's certainly enough famous X-Men characters
Yeah.
in there to pull anyone.
Yeah, if you're in a comic shop or in a game shop, and you've got a bit of money burn a hole in your pocket, you could do worse than picking one of these to supplement your DC force.
Yeah.
Of course, we now also have to ask the question: if you're a Ninja Turtles or Star Trek gamer, and I can't believe Heroclix is getting to the point I'm having to ask more than one question along these lines. Star Trek, maybe not so much.
No, that is.
But
I think that's.
But
that
these guys could fight alongside the turtles, surely.
Yeah. Well, mutants?
Yeah,
Mutants?
they're all mutants. Yeah, we've got mutant keyword. Yeah.
That works. Yeah.
Goldballs would, why not? Mr. Sinister versus the Turtles. I'll read that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could work actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and set up an X-Men team with Donatello.
We'll stop short of asking Star Trek Tactics because scale problems. But Robin and Warbird versus Goldballs.
Galactus.
Yeah. We know someone who has Galactus Cluster. We can make that happen. Yeah. Like I say, I think we've got all of them between us. We've done well. But I just, for me, this is a double thumbs up from me.
Yes, me too.
Double thumbs up
really
across the board. So if you're in a game store or comic store, you're a Heroclix player, you're an X-Men fan, or if you, as we said, if you're just a superhero fan in general, you could do a lot worse than picking up a booster or two of these. I would go so far to say if you are a Marvel player who is a dedicated X-Men fan, it is worth forking out for a brick for it.
Yes, certainly. Yeah.
If you can find any retailer will be happily sell you a brick if they've got one. So just make a deal and cut a deal with your retailer. If you're a mutant player or an X-Men player, this is worth the money for a brick. This is a very good set across the board. So as we wrap up, favourite sculpt from the ones we've unpacked?
It's difficult. I like the dust. I think I'm going to have to go with Mr. Sinister.
I was going to go Mr. Sinister.
Really
The details gone in.
The detail on the face is Mr. Sinister for me as well.
Really, we've swept the board with it. And much as I do also really love the Magneto with the debris kind of spiraling up around him.
They're bothered with Goldballs.
There's a lot of that. That's an A for effort, but I think we're all just kind of one over like the Sinister there, aren't we? And normally we do worse sculpt, but to be honest, there's no bad sculpts.
No, they've listened to us.
If I really had to push it, I would say I'm not that keen on the Mystique.
The Mystique's kind of an A for effort, isn't it?
Yeah, good idea. But still good.
Yeah, it still works. You know it's Mystique.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just.
If you just want to cut the bricks back, you'd be going, that's really good because sometimes they've kind of eyebrows on the top of their head.
Heroclix has just constantly improved.
Yeah, no, they listen to us.
Yeah, and one day we're going to face those shitty dice set of starter sets.
It's going to happen.
Whenever fast forces will add up to forces you can use fast, like we want them to. But this, I'm just really happy with this set. I think it's a great one.
It's a nice one. Yeah.
Okay. Do it. Go for it. So we're Brick Fury. We're a Heroclix unboxing type, fighty type force. Dave's been an absolute pleasure to have a show. Hope you have back.
Thank you very much. I've loved it.
Yeah, I'll definitely have you back then. We run on emotionally14.com, which is emotionally14digits.com. Where there's all sorts of tabletop game stuff, there's all sorts of video gaming stuff, there's movie reviews, there's horror roundups, there's comic stuff. If there's anything in the geeky sphere, that's our remit. You can follow Emotionally4. I think they're Emotionally14 on Twitter, etc. Emotionally14 on Facebook, and they've got some wonderful podcasts through all the various podcast subscribers they do as well. Again, check out emotionally14.com for all the details on those. I'm Brad Harmer Barnes. If you want to keep up with what I'm doing, I'm at RealBradHB on Twitter and Instagram, and you can search for Brad Harmer Barnes on Facebook. Ian, where can people find you in between?
On Instagram, on Great Old One.
GR8 Old One.
GR8 Old One.
And as soon as we finish filming, we're going to make sure he gets a nice photo of the Magneto and the Sinister up on his Instagram for you, because you use macro shots before we shut up at night, right?
Should we do that?
Yeah, that's kind of his thing. Dave, where can people find you in between shows?
Well, I'm on Instagram, Dave DCLXVI. You can also find me at Milton 100 War Games Club or Broadside War Games Show on Facebook.
Cool.
Always good.
Yeah.
Promote that.
Yeah, was he? Yeah, Broadside's fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we need Brick Fury to have a table.
Yes. Oh, yes.
We've got friends. We'll see if we can make that happen.
We can do that.
Okay, we'll demo Heroclix.
Yeah.
Bring a colossal versus we'll do a kaiju one. Just all the colossals on the table. Yeah. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys again. That is wonderful. Thank you for helping us
Thank you
out.
very much.
And we'll see you guys very soon. See you soon. Bye.